Hello, viewers. As India passed through a brutal second wave of COVID-19, the entire healthcare system has been overwhelmed. It seems to be the crisis of the century, but in this hour of crisis, the global community has led a helping hand. It is very important here to inform our viewers that the current presidency is held by Portugal of the European Union. And to talk more on this, we have a very special guest joining us today, His Excellency Carlos Pereira Marques, the Ambassador of Portugal to India. Welcome, Your Excellency, to this very special broadcast.
Namaste.
My first question will be, how is Portugal helping India in this extreme crisis?
Okay, let me explain to you the circumstances. At the beginning of this year, Portugal was doing very well. It was one of the best countries in the European Union. And then for Christmas, our government decided to open up a little bit. And the general reaction of the people were tired of being at home in lockdown. And so people were less careful, and the result of this was a suddenly change in the situation, and from the best we became one of the worst countries in Europe. So we had to impose a very strict and demanding lockdown for 3 months, and at that time India was very helpful and friendly, and we could count with support of India. Then things changed. After 3 months we became again one of the best countries in Europe, because we understood that this pandemic is done by ups and downs, and everything may change very suddenly because the virus is very versatile, as we know. And then we became again, our situation is good, and India, which was in a good situation, became in a very bad and concerning situation. And so for us, it was absolutely normal and obvious. It was our turn to help India, because the only solution really to fight this pandemic, which is a global pandemic, is through global solidarity and global cooperation. And so for us, it was, as I told you, very natural to give a small contribution to India. We sent some antivirals. It was, as I said, a small contribution, but something we did very heartfully and with a very strong conviction that it was the right thing to do in this situation.
Excellency, if you see the present situation where India is hit by this COVID-19, it was the turn of European countries in the year 2020. So I just wanted to know that how Portugal tackled that COVID crisis, and what were the strategies which were adopted to contain the crisis, and how is the present situation in Portugal now?
It's always, we all know it's always very difficult to find the right balance, and there's no magic formula to combat the virus. So we did what all the countries are doing around the world. It's to lock down when it is necessary, to open when it is possible, always to strictly comply with the social distancing rules, very, 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 very important, fundamental. And finally, nowadays, vaccination. So that's what we did. And I think the most important is always to be alert and careful and cautious, and never think now it's over, because at least for the time being, it's never over. It's never over. There's always the risk that the virus may come back. And that's what we did.
Yeah, you just talked about the vaccination program. If you could tell our viewers, how is the current position of the number of, or the percentage of population you have vaccinated, and what is the strategy to vaccinate the entire population?
Well, the vaccination in Portugal is moving forward at a good pace. And our strategy is also the strategy of the European Union. Vaccination is one of our, I would say, our major priority short term. We think that we should speed up the production of vaccines as much as possible, and to inoculate as much people as possible in short term. That's what we are trying in Portugal. Of course, we could do other things at medium long term, but our priority is short term, and vaccination is absolutely crucial at this stage.
If you see the entire strategy which was adopted to contain this COVID crisis, the European countries did it very well. What India could do better to overcome this crisis?
No, as I've told before, it's always very difficult to give advice. But I always think that of course, in parallel with vaccination and then these measurements of closing and open with all the implications involved, I think it's up to every individual to contribute to the fight of the pandemic. And really complying with the rules of social distancing is absolutely fundamental, be always alert and never let down our guards, Now, for instance, thank God, the situation is improving in India and in Delhi. We have absolutely to be always cautious and don't think now it's over. It's never over, as I've said before.
Yeah, as you said, India is also in the flattening curve. The positivity rate has also gone down, and
Yes.
I hope the crisis is going to, end very soon.
Yes.
Lastly, a very important question. Do the world community needs to adopt a strategy to combat this epidemic as a globe? And should rich nations help other countries in vaccination and even think of waivers?
Yes, no, absolutely. As I said before, solidarity is very important. That's also our approach within the European Union. To give you an idea, till now we've produced in Europe around 440 million vaccine doses, and half of them were exported, namely through the COVAX facility. So 220 million were used in Europe, and the other half was used outside Europe. Now, as for sure you are aware, last Friday took place in Rome a very important health summit, jointly organized by the G20 and by the European Commission. And the President of the European Commission announced also that till the end of the year, 3 big companies will provide on a non-profitable basis or at a very lower cost, 1.3 billion vaccines to countries of middle or low income. So this only shows how we are involved and committed to really to have this global approach, because the only solution to a global crisis is definitely to have also a global approach based on solidarity among the people.
In fact, if I could recollect, there was a tweet from the President of European Union yesterday that not only India, but I think they are going to help African nations.
Yes.
Crisis.
Yes.
So it's very important.
The waivers, you talked about the 3 waivers. Of course, we are totally open to discuss the idea. Recently at the EU-India leaders meeting, the President of the European Commission also said it very clear. We are keen to discuss that possibility. Our priority now is the short term, as I said, but anyway, we are open to discuss that idea. We would like to know more details about the American proposal. We understand that it's not exactly the same as the Indian and the South African proposals, but we are keen and open to discuss it more in detail. And it's also important for us to have more detail about those proposals.
Excellency, to end this program, first of all, since you hold the presidency of the European Union, I would thank the government of Portugal for helping India in this crisis. Not only Portugal, but I think the entire European Union. There were many countries who helped lending hand, and they helped India in this extreme crisis. So we thank you all for providing us all the help possible from the entire European Union.
We also thank a lot India for the help it provided for more than 90 countries around the world, as we all know. So it's always an exchange, and thank God it is an exchange.
That brings me to the end of this very special broadcast. Thank you very much, Ambassador Carlos Pereira Marques, the Ambassador of Portugal to India. And we also thank the government of Portugal for helping India overcome this crisis. And as Portugal is also holding the presidency of European Union, we will also thank all the member countries of European Union for supporting India in this hour of crisis. Thank you very much. This is Ameya Sathaye for sarkaritel.com and diplomacyindia.com signing off from New Delhi, India. Thank you very much. Namaste.
Thank you so much. Namaste. Thank you.